How long have you been standing there?
Just long enough to satisfy myself.
That's a first. I don't know what it means, but I also think it doesn't make any sense.
We need to talk.
I can't. I have to go to court right now. How about we do this maybe after work? Over a drink, perhaps dinner?
No, now. We need to talk now.
Okay. Okay. If it's about last night, I'll explain. But right now, I've got to go. We'll meet later on and make up for it, sweetie. I promise we'll make up to it. See ya.
I'm pregnant. Did you hear me? I'm pregnant.
What?
Joe, I'm pregnant.
I've heard. How did it happen?
How did it happen? That's what you ask? Oh, I forgot. A man your age still needs schooling on the human anatomy. Well, here's a reminder. Biology, sexual reproduction 101, the female being...
Just stop.
I come in to tell you I'm pregnant, and you ask me how did it happen? That's the most idiotic question I've had.
But you told me you're on the pill.
And I told you to be extra careful.
Listen, I have to go.
Joe.
I'm late, I've got to go.
Joe. Joe, come on. Joe.
Listen, I'm a married man, eh? Take care of it today.
But you promised.
For the meeting.
I'm done with the assignment a bit earlier. I saw you in, and here is the information that you required.
Good. I'm impressed.
Are you working on a case in the course of this week?
Yes, and a rather interesting one. Our client, Trendy Computers, has been sued by the husband of one of the employees for the death of his wife and an unborn child.
It sounds exciting.
Yes, they have a policy of not going on leave for over 30 days over a period of 4 years.
Regardless of the reason?
Company policy.
All right. Why is he suing?
Currently, the wife, who is employed by the company, decided to procure an abortion. The abortion went wrong and both she and the child died.
Isn't that the fault of the doctor who performed the abortion?
The argument is that if the policy allowed the staff to go on leave, then she would have taken leave and had the baby and come back to work. But she opted to terminate the pregnancy.
In that case, she is responsible for her own death, not the company.
Actually, that's one angle of the defense that I intend to take.
I'd love to help. Do you think maybe we can work together?
Yes, of course.
That figure is unacceptable. I'm sure you're authorized to transact with more than that. So why don't you tell me when you have something I can work with? Good.
How did the hearing go?
Looks like the ruling will be in our favor. That was the defendant's advocate I was on the phone with right now. They want to set.
Good. You have a figure in mind?
Nothing less than 14 mil.
That's a good figure.
I agree. Have we lost?
Lost? No. Mr. Mulji was declared innocent, and all the charges against him were dropped. But we have entered a civil suit on the grounds of defamation.
So, yes. What's with the long face?
Nah, I just have a long day ahead of me.
Good, so we'll wrap this up as fast as we can.
Excuse me, Mr. Mwako.
Yes?
Mr. Tom Kihiko is here to see you.
Oh, ask him to come in.
Okay.
So, we'll work on this together. I want to see how you'll handle the preliminaries. Elsie and Joe, you know what to do. The legal office of Trendy Computers, Mr. Tom Kihiko is here, so if you'll excuse me. I need to use the boardroom. David, you stay. You wanted to work with me, didn't you?
Of course.
Oh, Tom Kihiko.
Good to see you, Mr. Mwako, and I'm very sorry for the short notice.
What's wrong with you? I've never seen you like this.
I've just had a long day.
Yeah, you look busy slouching on your chair.
It was just an early start.
There's something else.
It's my business.
Fine, suit yourself.
Elsie.
I'll be in the library. I don't want to catch your infection.
Elsie. Elsie.
Take care of it. That's what you tell me today.
I told you of my situation.
Your situation? Your situation wasn't a problem when you wanted to sleep with me. It definitely wasn't a problem when you're spending all those nights with me in bed.
You know what? Take care of it.
No.
It's not up for discussion.
You have to take me in.
Renee, I'm a married man and I have a family.
But you promised me you'd leave your wife for me.
I don't want us to part this way. I don't want us to part over this. This is not how it was meant to end, okay?
I will ensure your wife knows about us and the baby. You go down, you bastard. I'll tell your wife and everyone else.
In the civil matter of Daniel Mzalendo versus Trendy Computers, compensation due to loss of life of Wendy Mzalendo and her unborn child. Are the plaintiffs and defendants ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. Opening statements, plaintiff.
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor. Daniel and Wendy Mzalendo, married for 3 years. A family that struggled to fend for themselves and the extended family. This family fell victim to corporate policies that robbed Daniel of his wife and his unborn child. Your Honor, lives have been lost due to the stringent rules and policies of Trendy Computers Limited. Policies that deny women the right to have children safely because they cannot apply for maternity leave. Policies that forced many more to resign or get fired because they could not apply for sick leave or study leave. Your Honor, Trendy Computers has robbed many families. In these proceedings, Daniel Mzalendo tells them that it is wrong. It is wrong to deny a woman a chance to become a mother. He tells them that their hands are soiled with the blood of his unborn daughter and his wife.
Counsel.
Like all companies in the business world, Trendy Computers has policies. Policies that are made to make the company efficient, profitable, growing, developing, resilient, you name it. Policies that are made to ensure the company survives time and all economic seasons. Policies that an employee is made well aware of, educated on before contracting. Policies regarding leave, working hours, dress code, office romance, you name it. It's nothing personal. It is not for this court to write contracts for the parties, but to see to it that the terms of the contract are implemented to the letter. In this case, it will emerge that the defendant did not do anything against that contract.
Counsel.
Your Honor, the plaintiff would like to call Daniel Mzalendo. Daniel Mzalendo, kindly tell the court how long you were married to Wendy, now deceased.
3 years.
Can you confirm that she was employed by the defendant company?
Yes.
For how long was she employed there?
This was she was in her 6th month. She was due to be confirmed in employment.
And before that?
She was stomaching close to 7 years, looking for a job.
The two of you must have been very excited when she got the job.
Well, we were. It was better paying than mine, and we knew that it would go a long way in changing our lives and that of my parents-in-law.
Your parents-in-law? Why?
They continually supported her financially when she was stomaching, her and her siblings.
Were you and Wendy both aware of the no maternity leave policy until 5 years in employment?
Yes, we were, but we had discussed about it earlier on, and we had decided we would not have a kid until we were financially able. This was way before she got the job.
And did that change after she got the job?
No, it didn't.
So what happened when you and your wife discovered that you were going to have a child?
We were excited, pretty excited about it. So we decided to check on the company policy on maternity, whether it would change or how we would go about it. She decided to speak to her senior managers and her colleagues.
And what did Wendy find out from them?
She discovered that the policy on maternity leave would not change. She also discovered that in the past 3 years, 6 ladies were let go, 4 of whom had merely applied for a maternity leave and 2 for a study leave. Those who had applied for maternity leave were willing to stick to their policy of less than 30 days leave, but were still fired.
Objection. Hearsay.
Your Honor, what Wendy found out from her colleagues and managers is very important and relevant in the determination of this case.
Overruled. I will allow that testimony.
Thank you, Your Honor. Did Wendy find out why?
She found out that the company considered them a burden. This is because of the extra time they required off the office hours for taking care of babies, emergencies, and all that. The same applied for those who had applied for study leave, rather.
Upon this discovery, what did the two of you decide?
My salary was not enough to cater for the both of us. And she knew it would get worse, especially if the baby came. She wanted to have an abortion so that she could keep her job.
And what did you say to that?
I wouldn't allow of it. I mean, children are from God. I knew somehow we would manage. God would provide. He would know where they would sleep, how they would eat. Children are from God.
How many months pregnant was she when you found out?
She was 4 months pregnant. The doctor said it was a girl. I was going to have a daughter.
So you had no idea about her plan to have an abortion?
No, I didn't, and I wouldn't allow of it, no matter what. I wouldn't.
What happened on the day she passed away?
She had gone to see her friend Susie in Nanyuki. It was a Saturday, and I was at work. I got a call from Susie to rush to Nanyuki Women's Hospital. Susie told me that Wendy was in a bad state. So I rushed from the office and went straight to the hospital only to find her bleeding to death. She had blood all over her, and the doctors were trying to control the bleeding and trying to stop the bleeding, but she was bleeding to death. Wendy was in a bad state. She was in a bad state. 5 minutes after I walked in, she died in my arms. Every day I see her bleeding to death. I see my unborn daughter. No man can endure going into such.
That'll be all, Your Honor.
Mr. Mwako, cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
Daniel Mzalendo, you may step down.
Tara, where are you? You're supposed to be here like 15 minutes ago. Oh no. And then I'm really anxious for this hot vibe you have to tell me. Okay, so tell me over the phone.
No, I had to tell you in person.
Why didn't you tell me you were here?
Because I knew you wouldn't believe me.
Oh, babe, it's so good to see you.
Nice to see you. I brought you something.
Ooh. Croissants. You read my mind.
Thought so.
Here, sit down. Let me get us some coffee.
Yeah.
Susie Kamono, please tell the court how you know the deceased, Wendy Mzalendo.
Wendy and I have been friends for so many years, since we were teenagers. We were in the same school.
Did you know about the dilemma she was in?
No, she came to see me over the weekend. I thought she was going to buy me lunch. And we catch up as we hadn't seen each other for so long since she got the job, but she wanted help.
What kind of help?
She told me she was 4 months pregnant. She had just discovered, and she was worried about the work situation. She told me if her bosses knew, she would lose the job. She told me if she would leave the job, Daniel would not manage to take care of her and the baby.
So, what advice did you give her, if any?
No, she didn't come to me looking for advice. She had come to see me with a decision in mind. She told me she wanted me to find a discreet doctor to take care of it.
Take care of it? Meaning what?
Abortion. She wanted it to be done that very weekend.
What did you do?
I had heard of a doctor who did successful flashings in the town.
By flushing, you mean an abortion?
Yes, Dr. Mlofa.
Go on.
I called a few friends who gave me his number. He agreed to see us on that day. We went to the clinic. I waited for her at the reception.
So she went in for the procedure and you waited outside?
Yes.
At what point did you realize that her life was at risk?
I heard her scream. Her screaming was increasing. The more she screamed, the more pain I felt she was in. I decided to storm in the room. I saw blood everywhere, on the bed, on the floor. I was petrified. I screamed. When Dr. Mlofa heard my screaming, he ran away and left us alone there. So I quickly took her to the nearest hospital, Nanyuki Women's Hospital. On the way, I decided to call Daniel.
Did you tell him what happened?
No, I couldn't. I only told him she was in critical state and had to come there soonest. He later came 5 minutes right before she died.
Defense?
No cross-examination, Your Honor.
Mr. Mwako, are you certain?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Susie, you may step down.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Don't worry.
It's just the energy boost I needed to get through my morning.
Relax, you're going to choke.
So what was it that was so important it couldn't wait?
I'm enjoying this.
Come on.
Wait.
Judging from the way you're looking at me, I have an eerie feeling this is going to mess up the rest of my day. I'll probably regret eating your croissants.
I know, Prophet of Doom. Tell me, How are things between you and Paul?
Tough. But I'm handling it. He's coming to pick Jabali up from here tomorrow.
I see.
So, tell me.
I came across confidential material. Information that would
Oh,
made...
come on, Tara. Just spit it out.
Okay. Medical records of Paul and his wife.
Is he dying from some incurable disease? It would ease my burden of the custody battle.
Paul and his wife can never have children. We've been trying for years. IVF, fertility treatment. Nothing has helped. I even heard it is his wife who's really pushing for this so that they can adopt their son and completely cut you out of the picture.
Zainabu Mariam, please tell the court how long you worked for Trendy Computers Limited.
For 3 years.
Why did you leave?
I was forced to leave by the senior sales manager.
You were forced to leave. Why and how?
Well, I got pregnant on my 3rd year. My work was good and very impressive. When my pregnancy started showing, I decided to go and speak to my supervisor about the maternity leave.
What happened after that?
My supervisor told me that I cannot get the maternity leave until the end of the 4th year. I told him that I was willing to stay within the 30-day limit as per the company's policy.
Go on.
The next day, I got a termination letter. Reason cited that I was no longer productive at work.
And did you follow up with management?
Yes, I went to speak to Mr. Tom Kihiko about my termination. He advised me that it was within the company's right to terminate my employment when my performance was wanting. And probably my pregnancy was one of the reasons why my performance had gone down. He advised me to take the termination and accept the situation and focus in upbringing my child. Since I was not going to concentrate well at job, now that I was going to be a nursing mother.
So, Tom Kihiko couldn't help you?
No.
So you were terminated because you were pregnant and it seemed like you would not be able to concentrate at work?
Pretty much so.
Thank you. That will be all, Your Honor.
Mwako, do I assume you still don't want to cross?
This time I'll cross-examine, Your Honor. You say you're pretty much fired because of your pregnancy.
Yes.
You are pretty much fired because your pregnancy would affect your concentration.
Yes.
Your performance was pretty much not affected by your pregnancy.
Yes.
I can see you're pretty much lying to the court.
Objection, Your Honor.
Withdrawn. Your Honor, here in my hand is a performance review of Mariam Zainabu. Before she was terminated from employment, her sales performance had drastically dropped. I'd like to submit that as evidence. Let it be marked accordingly.
Okay. Exhibit accepted, Mr. Mwako.
Yeah. You were pretty much fired because of lack of performance. Nothing to do with your pregnancy situation. That will be all, Your Honor.
Dr. Wawali, you were the doctor on duty when Wendy Mzalendo was brought to the hospital, right?
Yes, I was.
Could you please tell the court what caused the death of Wendy Mzalendo?
In layman terms, she bled to death. The abortion process that was used was not proper. Considering that the fetus was 4 months old, the procedure or technique that was used was inappropriate. The person who conducted the abortion process used a technique for a 1-month-old fetus. And when they realized that the process was unsuccessful, they attempted to redo the process, which is quite dangerous venture, hence causing the death of the mother and the unborn child.
Your Honor, I would like to submit the post-mortem report as well as a medical report for Wendy Mzalendo, which clearly states that the cause of death was abortion.
The same can be marked plaintiffs Exhibit 1 and 2, respectively.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Mwako, your witness?
Dr. Wawali, have you studied business law?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance?
What is the relevance, Mr. Mwako?
Your Honor, business law is relevant in this case, which revolves around the contract of employment.
The objection is sustained. Mr. Mwako, do you have any other questions for the witness?
Yes, my lady. Doctor, tell me, what is the connection between self or voluntary abortion and the company policy?
No connection.
Objection, Your Honor.
Withdrawn. That's all.
Doctor, you may step down. Counsel. Counsel, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, that will be all.
Mr. Mwako?
Yes, the defense calls the legal office of Trendy Computers, Mr. Tom Hihiko.
That bastard! Pretending he had missed out on all these years, and this is what he had set up for me.
Elsie, you should try and calm down.
This is his plan. Huh? To have Jabali raised by some strange woman. He won't get away with it.
If that's the case, you have to be prepared to put up a fight.
I will. I will fight.
The leave policy is clearly stipulated in the contract they signed before employment.
Tom Kihiko, please read to the court the highlighted clause.
Sure. Part 7, Clause 35. No leave shall be granted to an employer for more than 30 days, inclusive of the reasons of sickness, maternity, or other, for the first 4 years after employment.
My lady, I'd like to submit the company policy. And let it be marked as Exhibit.
Accepted.
Thank you. Is the leave policy included in the contract?
Absolutely.
Your Honor, here in my hand is a copy of the contract which every employee joining Trendy Computers must sign, regardless of their position in the company. I'd like you to look at clause number 13, the annual leave. It's clearly stated in there. And I'd like to have that marked as exhibit number 3.
Accepted, counsel.
Thank you, my lord. No further questions.
Counsel?
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor. Does Trendy Computers Limited employ women?
We are an equal opportunities employer.
Equal opportunity. And the women, The women you employ are at their most reproductive age. It doesn't strike you that these very women will need maternity leave?
We treat both men and women the same.
Even if it means losing women at the workplace.
Company policy is company policy.
Company policy is company policy. That is all, Your Honor.
You may step down, Tom. All right, closing arguments.
A woman is dead because she wanted to conform to company policy. A man has lost his wife and a daughter because his wife wanted to conform to company policy. Company policy is company policy, Tom Kihiko said. Your Honor, we are living in harsh economic times fueled by the global recession. We have shown by the evidence of reliable witnesses that the defendant company drove Wendy Mzalendo to the desperate act of procuring an abortion in order to protect her job. It was the need to survive in these harsh economic times. It was the need to conform to company policy. The need to survive. Your Honor, when the policies in a company put a citizen in a situation such as this, the law must intervene. Maternity is a natural process, and even the laws of this country provide for maternity leave. Your Honor, archaic company policies should not have taken that need away from Wendy Mzalendo.
Mr. Mwako?
Before an employee joins Trendy Computer Limited, he or she is given a contract which stipulates the regulations that she will live with. We are talking of a willing buyer, willing seller. That is the basic cornerstone of a contract. Wendy Mzalendo read, understood, and accepted to conform to the regulation and policies of Trendy Computer Limited. The issue before this court is not whether or not the policies of Trendy Computer Limited is fair or not. The issue before this court is whether Trendy Computer Limited is responsible for the death of Wendy Mzalendo. And the clear answer to that one is a firm no. Wendy Mzalendo decided to procure an abortion. And we have been told that the abortion was unsuccessful, culminating in her bleeding to death. Should we blame Trendy Computer Limited or the doctor who performed the illegal abortion? That I will leave to the court to decide.
Tomorrow, 9 a.m. for the judgment. Court is adjourned.
Hey, excuse me. You can't go in.
Paul, don't you remember me?
Elsie left specific instructions that you shouldn't get into her office.
What? But I spoke to her yesterday and she said...
She asked me to call her when you come in. So please wait. Elsie, Paul is here.
Hi, where's Jabali? We had an agreement. I was supposed to pick him today.
So you can take him to your barren wife. Here I was actually believing that you cared about my son. Yet the only reason you want him is because you cannot have children.
How did you get to know about that?
Does it matter? You are one sick bastard. And I want you to leave this office right now.
Elsie, Jabali is my son and I have all the right to
There will not even be visitation rights by the time I'm done with you.
Elsie, you cannot dictate terms. I am his father.
I don't care who you believe you are. You will not see my son. Now get out.
Elsie, you cannot do
I
this.
have every damn right. Now leave.
Can you two tone it down? This is a workplace.
Tell this idiot to leave.
I cannot leave until I see my son.
Paul, leave right now before I call security.
All I want is to see my son.
That is not going to happen.
Paul, I won't say this again. Leave now. Leave.
You have not won.
Jabali is my son.
Elsie, please. Paul, leave now!
I have had occasion to peruse and consider the company policies that exist at Trendy Computers. I must say, they are extremely archaic. The leave policy is designed to deny female employees the right to maternity leave and is definitely unlawful and contravenes the Employment Act. Parenthood is a natural process of life. It is revered and should be respected across all sectors of economy, business, as it is in many cultures all over the world. Trendy Computers is no exception. Ladies and gentlemen, our courts are open and available to all citizens of this country. And when a person encounters a difficulty such as Wendy Mzalendo did, she ought to come to us and challenge such discriminatory policies and allow the judiciary to make amends. Not opt for such extreme measures as a backstreet abortion. Sadly, Wendy Mzalendo opted for that. She opted to have an abortion and is therefore responsible for the consequences. The decision to have the abortion that led to her unfortunate death was not forced down on her by Trendy Computers. I therefore find that the claim is remote and unsustainable. I hereby rule in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed with cost. Court is adjourned.
should never have doubted you. You're the best. Thank you very much.
Yes, Mwako and company.